What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to another video. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to be talking about another draft prospect for the Chicago Bulls, and this one, his name is Matas Buzelis. Ladies and gentlemen, hopefully I said his name correctly. We're going to be going through, I guess, my thoughts on him and stuff of that nature, and just overall see if he is good enough for the Chicago Bulls with the 11th overall pick. It's been quite an interesting turn of events for him, because at the end of the day, he seems to be a player that, for the most part, for a lot of the season at least, was considered within the top 10 and even in some cases the top 5. Now, there's a couple of people that do feel he could fall to the 11th pick, and should the Chicago Bulls take the chance on him? Well, ultimately, we're going to have to find out now, don't we? But before we get any further, if you liked the video and you want to see more from me, drop a like, drop a follow, and or subscribe if you are new. And let me know in the comments below your thoughts about Matas Buzelis. I don't think I'm going to be able to get that one right, am I? And yeah, what are your thoughts about him? And do you see him being a good option with the 11th overall pick in this upcoming NBA draft? So what do we need to know about him? Well, he is 6'9". He is listed as a forward, weighing 209 pounds. I don't actually know how old he is. Let me quickly get that up for you. But essentially, we're looking at another forward here, ladies and gentlemen. It is as simple as that. Again, I do think forwards fit a specific need for the most part, and that is something that we're always going to be dealing with this Bulls team until we can get the proper power forwards, small forwards that we need. And maybe this guy could be the right guy. And he is 19 years of age, ladies and gentlemen, so that should be, again, a raw prospect to say the least. His stats look very, very interesting, averaging around 14.3 points per game, 6.9 rebounds per game, 1.9 assists per game, shooting 44.5% from the field and 27.3% from the three-point line. So, a player that stats don't necessarily look amazing, but you also need to keep in mind he has played and he is playing for the G League Ignite team. So that means he's playing against grown men, ladies and gentlemen. He's playing against professionals. He's playing against guys that are desperate to make the NBA, willing to fight tremendously hard for it. It's a lot different compared to that college level. I'm not saying college players can't fight hard to make the NBA, but they're versing players of the same situation. In the G League, you're versing young players, you're versing old players, you're versing desperate players, you're versing players that just want that opportunity. Heck, you're versing NBA players from two-way contracts. You're versing a whole bunch of different type of situations, and I do very much respect the G League Ignite players, and I respect going to the G League to be able to try and prove your worth there, which is why I actually like those stats, considering the fact he's doing it against professional grown athletes. So good stuff there, ladies and gentlemen. But there is a big thing. There's a big thing I want to show you guys, ladies and gentlemen. There is a strengths and weaknesses category for this player on hoopshype.com, I believe. And again, I do have to take all those things into consideration alongside of some of the highlights that I've seen, just because I don't have the luxury to watch every single game. So I do look at scouting reports, I look at different strengths and weaknesses, I look at videos, just trying to get a gauge of what I think this player is going to be all about. But this one, genuinely, I lost the plot with. So, for example, let's give you an example here. One of the attributes, one of the strengths that they have is that he's a player that can shoot the three ball well. A solid jump shot with good form and good touch. Then you go to the weaknesses and he has an inconsistent three-point shot. That to me makes no sense. Obviously, someone that has a good size and frame, it could be very good on the defensive end. Then also on the weaknesses category, doesn't move well. Sorry, a limited, I guess, interior defense and stuff of that nature. So again, very, very interesting. So all the strengths and negatives seem to be the exact same thing. That's what I'm trying to get across. So I don't necessarily have the best strengths and weakness categories based on scouts, because it looks like he was supposed to come into the G League Ignite team as a shooter. He shot really poorly from the three-point line. He's supposed to be a player with good size, good athleticism, obviously a versatile player. Then he obviously lacks some defensive qualities that we would probably need in that forward position. So I just don't understand. I don't understand, I guess, how his strengths could also be his weaknesses. And then you have to think about it. There's obviously one big thing here that puts his strengths and his weaknesses together. and that is that he's inconsistent, ladies and gentlemen. That is the only thing I can come to the conclusion of. Some games he might show up, some games he might disappear. That's the best that I could come up with, because I can't see a world where your strengths are also your weaknesses. At the end of the day, it has to be one or the other. But if you're inconsistent and you can't necessarily provide your game to the table each and every single time down the floor, then you're going to have, I guess, different people say different things about you, different opinions, different strengths. Strengths will become weaknesses. Weaknesses will become strengths. That's the only consensus I can come to, ladies and gentlemen. So I feel like there is no real point, in all honesty, discussing my strengths and weaknesses based on the scouting report. What I've seen from him on the offensive end, it looks like he has a little bit of everything to his game. Someone that's not afraid to shoot the ball, someone that can get his own shot. He's a very good ball handler, could finish around the rim. Even if he's not massively athletic, he still has the touch around the rim that he could finish with. Ultimately, he looks good offensively, outside of the fact that he was supposed to come into the G League as a three-point shooter, and he's massively disappointed from the three-point line. So whatever reason that is, whether he's not being used correctly or whether or not the nerves are getting to him, playing in a different environment, I don't know what it is. I can't explain it to you, but that has to change. Especially from a forward, we need three-point shooting. Don't think we're getting it out of him from that percentage at least. So with that being said, would I take him with the 11th overall pick? There's a lot of people suggesting that he could actually go, again, I mentioned it, within the top 10. Some even say the top 5. Then others are suggesting he could fall to 11. The reason why I'm talking about him is because the Bleacher Report mock draft actually has us selecting him. He fits needs. 6'9", can play that power forward position. Definitely not upset about that. Someone that has the potential at least to be a good three-point shooter, don't necessarily have a problem with that. Someone that could do a little bit of everything but might not be the master of any, I don't necessarily have a problem with that. But with the 11th overall pick, I've been saying it for ages, I want someone that's going to change the franchise from the inside out. I want my cornerstone piece with this Bulls team. And you have to find it. It's not going to come easy with the 11th overall pick, but you got to find it. I just don't know if this player is the right player for us in terms of that perspective. And that's my own specific need. That's what I want from the situation. I love the fact he's done it against G League players. And ultimately, again, if we did select him, I'd be very much intrigued to see how things go. I just don't know if this player is going to be the player that makes the difference for the Bulls in terms of the future, the cornerstone, and stuff of that nature. And that's what I want. Other people might feel differently, but that's just how I feel. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you for watching. Drop a like and a follow, and or subscribe if you are new, and I will see you in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care, and peace.